So have you guys heard of lithops? This is like the coolest thing I have come across in all of 2020, which isn't actually saying much because 2020 has been a bit of a dumpster fire in and of itself. But no, lithops, they're these cool plant things, like they're succulent and they look like little beans, and that's awesome. And I'm talking about them for a not so random reason. But before I tell you why I'm talking about them, hi, I'm Mrs. Soap and Clay. Let's make stuff. How's it going, Sudzers? Welcome back to the channel. You are at Soap and Clay, where we make all the soapy things. And today on 365 Days of Soap, we are making lithops soaps. And it's not a soap made out of lithops, although I guess that would be pretty cool too. It is a soap meant to look like lithops, which I think is equally cool. Now, I actually got this idea from one of my Sudzers who became like a personal Facebook friend, and she had posted on her Facebook profile months ago, "Do you know that I have lithops?" And I didn't know what that was. So I had to look it up because I'm thinking, maybe she has an illness and I need to like give her like the care emoji or something. And it's not an illness, it's a plant, and a really cool one. In that, like, they look like little beans or little rocks that will bloom from the middle of them, and they're delightful. And I was talking to the soap apprentice about it, and she decided the very next day that she wanted to make a lithop soap. So that is what we are doing today. So I'm going to stop talking about it because it's actually kind of a long process. I will tell you more about what we did to create these lithops in the video, but let's go check it out. So if you are sitting here going, "Mrs. Soap and Clay, what is a lithops?" You're not alone. I had never heard of this until, I don't know, a couple months ago. One of my Sudzers, who became, one of my real friends and Facebook friends and whatever it's thing, she put a post up on her Facebook page and said, "Do you know that I have lithops?" And I'm like, "What is that? Is that like a what is it?" And so I looked it up, and lithops are a type of succulent, and they're like living rocks, right? So they look like little stones that are just the cutest things ever, and they're very hardy. They don't take a lot of water. They hold a lot of water, much like a cactus or a succulent, really, because they're succulent. And then they will bloom little flowers out of the middle of them, and they're kind of cool because they're the types of flowers that will like open up during the the daytime and close up at night. Like, I love those flowers. Not all flowers do that, right? I'm pretty sure not all flowers do that. I don't actually know anything about gardening and plants and stuff because I'm from Colorado and things don't grow there. But when I looked this up, it was the coolest thing ever. And George May, who is making the lithops right now, I sent her a picture of the lithops that I found online, and she was super into it. And then the next day it was, "Hey, we should make lithop soap." And so that's what we did. And by we, I mean her. And I mean, that was a very long, literal week for George May, because she made all of these adorable little lithops, guys, and they're all different colors and like shapes and pattern, because that's what they are, IRL. And so she did all these cute little things. Some of them have blooms on them, some. And anyway, we thought it would be really cool to make a lithops soap and put, you know, the soap dough lithops on them, because yes. And also we're gonna get our own lithops, and Georgia May will keep hers alive, and I will definitely kill mine because I don't know how to grow things. But everything that I've seen, like, it says that you should be able to keep it alive because it's a lot like a cactus. If you forget about it, it's pretty hardy as long as it gets some sunshine, which might make it complicated actually here in the Pacific Northwest, where there's no sun. But yeah, so Georgia May has made the soap dough in advance, right? And so this is just a whole bunch of soap dough that we have for different projects, and she is using, you know, what we have on hand to sort of create all of these cool little lithops. I don't even know if I'm saying that right. I might not be, now that I think about it. But the idea of this is that there's going to be a whole bunch of lithops on top of, you know, a soap, which is cool, but again, kind of time consuming. As you can see, there's kind of a lot involved. So anytime you mess with soap dough, there's always going to be a ton involved. But look how cute those little guys are that she's made so far. Like, that's super adorable. Different stages of bloom and all of the different, that's awesome. She's so good, and I cannot wait to see, you know, what she comes up with for the, you know, actual pouring of this, and how she's going to incorporate it into a, you know, a soap. And I'm sure everything that she does is going to be fantastic, because that's what she's about, really. So now onto the pouring of the actual, you know, soap that the lithops are going to go into. And look at the upper right. Isn't that awesome? All the cute little, you know, lithops that she made. Now, I didn't show you the, you know, the mixing and the lye and all the things, because we don't have time. This becomes a very long video, really. So what she has going on in the pot, she's working with the basic three right now. So we have olive oil, coconut oil, and palm in the equal parts. And then for the lye mixture, she actually used aloe in that, because aloe and succulents, and it all kind of works, whatever. And for the scent blend, she's doing a cucumber kind of mixed with the blue agave. So it's very kind of green smelling, really, which I think is very fitting for a plant soap, or a plant themed soap. Now, we talked a lot about what kind of pour we should do for this particular soap, and we talked about doing a hybrid soap and, you know, doing maybe like a whole mess of lithops, you know, on the bed of some, you know, sort of craggy sand, because lithops, they like to be in sand, right? Or like a cactus blend, or, you know, pebbles or whatever. And so we were talking about doing like a dirt, sand, craggy bottom with a cold process, and then put all the lithops on top, and then put melt and pour over the top of that, so do a hybrid. And ultimately, like, the making of the lithops was just so time consuming that she decided to take a different tack, which I think is a great idea. And so she is working in a slab mold still, and what she will be doing is essentially laying down a base of, you know, brown for, you know, the dirt and all of the things, and then we'll be putting in like little circles of the black that will have poppy seeds mixed into it, sort of, you know, simulate the sand portion, and then the lithops will go on top of that circle. So it'll kind of look like, the idea is with each soap, it'll look like each soap has like a pot of lithops, you know, on the top of it, in the middle of it. And so that was the ultimate decision that was made with all of this. Again, I think it was a great idea. The original design with this would have required, oh gosh, probably 5 times more lithops than what existed there. And as I said, this was a week-long thing for Georgia when it was all said and done. Just the making of the lithops when she had the ability to do it, and, you know, waiting for the soap dough to kind of firm up enough to, you know, whatever. It was a big old thing. And so this ultimately, I think, is a better way to go. Although, you know, if you make soaps, that would be a cool pour if you're willing to dedicate your whole life to it, because that's basically what that ends up being. Now, you know, a slab pour, very, very simple. This is, in actuality, you know, soaping bit of this is reasonably fast. It's a reasonably easy pour, and that's good. When you are doing complicated soaps like this, you should make at least one portion of your soap easy, I think, because oh gosh, the amount of time that goes into some of the stuff, it's kind of like with the Harry Potter inspired bars, right? Like I do the layered soap and then I have to cut it on the diagonal and then pour soap over it again. The soap that goes over it again, just white. So it's a quick mix. It's, you know, 3 minutes and it's poured and I can move on with my life. I like that. And I think that would be, you know, that's a good way to approach the more complicated, you know, bars. So you're going to have a lot of time on one side. Let's try to cut down time on the other to sort of make up for it. But now she is ready to do the pouring of the black circles, kind of. So it's kind of like a faux funnel, like I do with the Norbert bar, and I think we played around with a couple other things on the channel. But the idea is you kind of put like a circle of color, and with a faux column you would put another circle on top of that and continue to, you know, whatever. But with this, she's not going to do that. She's just going to put one, you know, circle of black into every area that will have, you know, where the soap is going to get cut, essentially. And she's putting poppy seeds in there, so it's nice. It will be exfoliating too, and that's cool. But again, to give the sort of, it looks like sand overall, you know, vision here. And she was very smart, and she actually, you know, lined her soap mold and then went ahead and, you know, actually measured out all the places where the soaps are going to go. And then she's being smarter to the nth degree, and she's putting a skewer to mark where she's going to pour her black, which is super smart. I love that. I love everything about that. Good job. And yeah, Georgia being Georgia, she's going to make sure that it is a perfect circle for all of these. And I can only imagine what she is thinking at this point. I haven't actually talked to her about this soap. I came in to cut it and she was not there, but because I come in very, very early, and she had left a note in the oven on the soap itself, on the mold, saying something about how this was my crappy, stupid, you know, LITHOPS soap or whatever. And I, you know, looked at it and went, you are a crazy person. This is great. So I guess there's a spoiler for you. It's great, but it's not really a spoiler if you're spending any amount of time, you know, watching the channel, because whenever Georgia May does something, she does an excellent job at it. So of course it was going to be great. Like there was never any, you know, question about that. But now she has all of her circles in, and she is going to take this and then start putting the lithops into each of the little circles to create essentially like a little pot of, you know, little succulent guys there. And that's cool and super adorable. And I don't really know, you know, what she was referring to with the note. So again, I do have to talk to her about this. Haven't had an opportunity, but like from what I'm seeing right now, everything looks awesome. Like this is cute. I wonder if she was stressing out during the whole placement of the lithops and figuring out where to put everything so it would all fit in the circles. I can imagine that would actually be kind of an anxiety-inducing exercise, because, you know, to fit them all in and not go outside of the circle, it could be a thing. But also, if it did go outside the circle, you could just, you know, move some of the black to the side, create essentially a bigger circle with your skewer. So that would work too. But maybe this was why she was saying it was such a, I don't know, disaster. I don't see anything disastrous about this though, do you? I think this is just the cutest thing ever, really. I mean, imagine that. Doesn't this make you want to grow lithops? Like, I'm not kidding. Again, when I looked up, you should look up lithops after you're done with this video, of course. I mean, watch to the end. But yeah, you should look them up if you're not familiar with them, and you might be. I was not familiar with them, but that means absolutely nothing because I am not familiar with lots of, you know, plants and stuff really. But this was cool, and this was definitely something. I don't think Georgia had ever heard of them either, and she's big into plants. Her and her mom both, they do the plant thing. So I thought they were really, really cool, and it's just one of those things like, you know, you see a big group of these stone looking plants, because they look like little rocks, just all grouped together, just so pretty in a, you know, bed of pebbles or whatever. And it's exciting, and it's very cool, and I think it would be such a fun thing to have, because that's one of the things about plants. When they're not blooming, they're just kind of plants, right? Which is cool. I mean, don't get me wrong, I love plants, but you know, they're just plants. But with these things, when they're not blooming, they look like this. They're these little, you know, bean or rock looking things that are just super cute. So they're very, very like decorative and visually appealing, even when they're not in bloom. I think. I mean, I don't know. Maybe in the winter they go dormant and they all go brown and look terrible. Maybe they only bloom once also as well. I don't know the answer to that either. I guess I should have done more research on lithops instead of just looking at pictures. I mean, it's not really necessary for the soap making of lithops, I suppose, because, you know, I don't need to know if they go brown in the winter to, you know, appreciate a soap that will stay ever bright and beautiful. And this is one of those things too. This is, speaking of a soap that will stay ever bright and beautiful, I imagine this is the kind of soap that just gets picked up and put up for like decoration in a bathroom, because it's really cute and very, very pretty. And I would have a hard time using it, but I would love to have it, you know, just there, and its aromatics lending to the clean spa smell of my bathroom, and I would be into that for sure. Using it, I honestly don't think this is one that I would use, because it is just so cute, and I don't know, that makes me feel weird whenever we make soaps that are so cute you don't want to use them. It's kind of weird, because I obviously want you to use the soap and, you know, experience the awesomeness of the soap itself, but also I understand why you would not in some cases. And this is definitely one that I would not really use it. I would definitely use it as decoration and just keep it bright and cute. Now she's putting poppy seeds on the top as well. That is a really good idea to sort of get the speckling in, because you see in sort of the middle bottom, off to the right a bit, in the, you know, fourth over from the left circle, she did some speckling on top of one of them to mimic like the seed texture or the rock texture that's on lithops. And I bet that was kind of a pain. And so maybe she decided that this was going to be the better alternative to making them look, you know, sort of speckled and giving some cool texture and interest. And I think that's a great idea. It's a slam dunk. And yeah, this guy is ready to go into the oven and get C-popped. There's no real reason to C-pop this. All of these colors will remain vibrant, and obviously nothing's going to happen with the soap dough, but you know, we C-pop things, and so we're gonna do the thing, and we will cut these into their individual soaps tomorrow, and you can, oh, that's so cute. Look at that. Oh my gosh. Okay, we are on to the cut. Now this is set up overnight, and look at that slab. Isn't it beautiful? Oh my gosh, everything about that is so nice. Now, Georgia May was really worried about the color of the brown, the terracotta, because she really did want a good terracotta. But look at that. That's stunning. She did a great job. I really like the addition of the poppy seeds in there too. That definitely, you know, lends to some, you know, like the dirt and, you know, that the lithops would be in a pot, which is super cute. And so now we are gonna cut these up into their individual soaps and, you know, see what they all look like on their own. And I love them. These are just so cute right off the bat. Really awesome soaps for sure. And unfortunately with this one, because of the way that we that the black circles were put in, the cut is going to be really kind of random. It's going to be more just make sure that the size of the soap is appropriate. And yeah, see, like that, I can't really cut that, so I'm going to have to split it down the middle there and cut those off, you know, individually, so they have reasonably equal portions for these soaps. It's a full hand cut with this guy because the placement of the circles went a little bit wonky, and that's completely fine. You know, it's good, because from soap to soap, as long as the weight is what you know, advertise it at, it's all good. And that is beautiful. Oh my gosh, that's such a nice soap. The scent of this guy is really beautiful as well. I really enjoy, oh come on, stop it. Stop it, look at that. Look how cute that is. That is unbelievable. I really like that gray one there with the little maroon like seeds. That's really adorable. Yeah, she did. Oh, that's cute too, the little green one with the yellow inside. That one's awesome. She did such a great job with these soaps. I'm so proud of her. It's this was definitely a, I know I say labor of love a lot, and you know that's true of soap making in general. It really is a labor of love, but this is a real labor of love. She put so much time into creating these little lithops. And you know, the original goal or plan with this was to create an entire slab of lithops, right? So that's all that you would see on the top of it, and then maybe do a hybrid, kind of like the koi fish soap, and like melt and pour over the top. And ultimately, as she started making the lithops, she realized that they are a bit of a time suck, and there was no way she was going to be able to get that many of these little guys made in order to fill, you know, an entire slab. So I mean, it's a cool idea, but you know, there's cool ideas and there's the value piece of it, really. And oh, that is adorable. That one might be my favorite. That's super cute. Yeah, there's just nothing wrong with these soaps. I am so proud of her soapy creation here. She did a great job. Tell Georgia May she did a great job, guys, because look at that. That's adorable. And that is day 105, the LITHOPS soap. And, you know, Georgia May is yet again showing off her ridiculous artistry skills. And there it is, the LITHOPS soaps. Aren't they so cute? I really love Georgia May's design with all of this. She really wanted to make sure she got that cool terracotta color in, and then like, you know, the things with the dirt to put the lithops in. It was absolutely delightful. It's a little bit different than what we were originally planning on doing with this soap, but ultimately the lithops took so much time to make out of soap dough that she would have been working on the little individual lithops to make a whole slab out of them forever. So that was not going to work. And honestly, I think these are just as cute, if not more so. And if you are interested in these soaps, you can totally find them on the website. They are at soapandclay.com. If you are interested in more soapy antics, you should subscribe to the channel, because we're doing this every day. And every once in a while, Georgia May gets to do some really crazy things, and you get to be along for that ride along with me, because I do not involve myself in her amazing creations, because I would just mess it up. But you know, she did a kick-ass job with this one, and I really think that this is going to be one of my favorite soaps for the whole entire channel, honestly. But you know, we'll see what she comes up with next. And that kind of does it for me today. Again, I am so glad that you joined me for another round of 365 days of soap. I super appreciate it. Again, subscribe to the channel, do the things. We're going to be here back at it again tomorrow. And to that, I am done today, and I will see you tomorrow. Bye.